My Lord Chairman, my lords and gentlemen, we commence the boxing program this evening with an international bantamweight contest of 8 rounds, 3 minutes each round, of a match made at 8 stone and 9 pounds, between and introducing to you, firstly, making his first ring appearance in this country, Rudy Corona of Mexico. And the reigning bantamweight champion of Great Britain and the British Empire, Alan Rudkin. Gentlemen, at the weighing this afternoon, Rudkin weighed 8 stone, 8.5 pounds. Corona, 8 stone and 7 pounds. The referee officiating the opening bout this evening, Mr. Harry Gibbs, and the timekeeper is Mr. Stan Courtney. Thank you.
Thank you, our MC Joe Evans. Good evening from ringside as we wait for Alan Rudkin, the British Empire Bantamweight champion, to come out for the first of these 8 3-minute rounds against Rudy Corona, the world-ranked Mexican. Rudkin from the right-hand corner, the British and Empire Bantamweight champion against Rudy Corona of Mexico, round 1. Rudkin, of course, in the dark trunks. And Corona, a rather swarthy, mustachioed Mexican. In fact, normally he'd be wearing a short, stubbly beard, but Bobby Neal, Rudkin's manager, objected to the beard at the weigh-in this afternoon. There was a little bit of a fuss because Corona said no beard, no fight. But eventually he was persuaded by his manager and trainer George Stassi to shave the beard off, and he's here in the ring tonight against Alan Rudkin. So without the beard, we've got Rudy Corona in the light trunks against Alan Rudkin, the British and Empire Bantamweight champion. Everybody wondering, of course, whether that left eye of Rudkin, which was very badly cut in that fight at the Anglo-American Sporting Club in Manchester against the Filipino Billy Brown, that was only 7-8 weeks ago, has repaired sufficiently. It looks very good from here. There's no sign, no trace, no mark at all. Referee Harry Gibbs. Rudkin is going to have to watch Corona because these Mexican bantamweights are really fiery characters, and Corona packs quite a punch. A little slight clash of heads there, just on that dangerous Rudkin spot above the left eye. And there is a very slight red mark above that eye at the moment. Remember, it was badly cut in that fight against Billy Brown early in the fight. Referee Wally Tom looked at it and decided it should go on. And Rudkin convincingly beat Billy Brown on points without losing a round. But that was only a matter of 7-8 weeks ago. Just about 2/3 the way through this opening round. Corona in the first round swinging a little, and left hand swings a long way, and Rudkin pushes him back beautifully. Good left hand from Rudkin. Best punch of the fight so far. Into the first. Alan Rudkin, surely the British boxer with the best chance of a world title. 38 professional fights. He's won 34 and lost only 4. Practically all of them the top-rated men. He won his British and Empire titles in March 1965 in Nottingham when he beat Johnny Caldwell the referee stopping the fight in 10 rounds. He defended those titles, of course, September 66 against the world flyweight champion Walter McGowan, that highly controversial bout when Rudkin lost on points. He got the return, and May the 13th this year he got the titles back. He beat McGowan on points. Bellevue, Manchester. The referee, the man who's in the ring tonight, Harry Gibbs. Rudkin had slight cuts over his left eye, again that suspect left eye, but he won on points, and he hadn't fought since then till he met Billy Brown in Manchester those weeks ago, which you saw live on BBC television. Tonight in the ring against Rudy Corona of Mexico.
Second up, round 2.
Second round, Corona looking a little fleshy around the middle. He weighed in at 8'7" as against Rudkin at 8'8½". Just about half an inch shorter. Corona, 33 years old, over 70 fights, and he's won 50 of them, 36 inside the distance. So Rudkin, who's on the threshold of both European title fights and world title fights, is really going to have to watch his step against Rudy Corona. Rudkin slipping there. Rudkin again with that slight failing of his, standing very square on to Corona. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second. Into the second. Rudy Corona ambling back to his corner there. 30-year-old Mexican. He's lost his last 4 fights this year, but in all those 4, he stayed a distance. Now, the interesting thing about Corona is that in his last fight, they were separated by the referee. That was in Honolulu, and Corona fell and broke his right hand. That right hand has been in plaster for quite some time. It only came out of plaster about 4 weeks ago, and it's rather interesting to note in those first 2 rounds, Corona hasn't really been throwing right-hand punches. He's been swinging a lot with the left hand. They've been wide, low swings. One was a little bit suspect on Rudkin, but we haven't really seen him use that right hand. The right hand that's been in plaster, it only came out of plaster 4 weeks ago. Rudy Corona of Mexico. Corona also in a little bit of trouble there with his left eye as we come out for the third. A little bit of work done on Corona's left eye in the interval between the second and third rounds. It's a little bit puffed.
Right.
And Rudkin is being told by referee Harry Gibbs he's holding with his right arm. He was holding Corona's hand inside his right arm. Rudkin caught by a swinging right hand from Corona. Look, nothing wrong with his hand with that when it's sunk into Rudkin's midriff as he came in. Corona himself doing a little bit of holding now. And being warned for it. Harry Gibbs in his best Mexican. Corona's left eye has got a little worse. It's much redder. It's reddening inside, and it's around the corner of the eye. It's not bleeding at the moment here in this third round. And Rudkin finds a mark with that left hand straight on the eye. A minute to go in the third. Superior boxing certainly coming from Alan Rudkin in these early stages of the fight. Corona relying on left and right hand swings, mainly the left hand swing. Into the third. So Rudkin boxing beautifully in these opening 3 rounds against Corona, using the left hand well. There's no sign of any damage whatsoever to his eye at the moment. He's in very little trouble. Bobby Neal, his manager, with him there in the corner. Last year, of course, it was Rudkin who finished off a tremendous 3-fight campaign, one of the greatest knockouts of the year. It was called the punch of the year. It was a right to the jaw which put away the American Ron Jones in the second round. And this was his first knockout since the 3rd fight of Rudkin's career. Can he produce that sort of punch again tonight here against Rudy Corona? Relying mainly on the left hand at the moment. A lot of advice coming from Bobby Neal. So 3 rounds gone. Rudkin in no trouble whatsoever at the moment. And Corona with a slightly damaged left eye and that suspect right hand, which has only been out of plaster 4 weeks. Good left hand work from Rudkin. Corona in a lot of trouble here in this 4th round. Rudkin boxing him beautifully. Left and right hands. Corona retreating, taking a lot of left hand work to the face. Corona, a much better in-fighter than he is at long distance. He works hard once he gets inside. His main plan to get inside is to throw a pretty loopy, wild left swing and then go inside and work. Outside, no doubt about it, Rudkin completely the master. Coming to the end of the fourth, Rudkin's best round so far. Rudy Corona in a lot of trouble there in the fourth round against Alan Rudkin. He took a tremendous amount of left hands to the face. He took right hand punishment as well. His left eye still holding up quite well. It was damaged early on, but there's no sign of it deteriorating at great extent. But he obviously hasn't got much answer to Rudkin's superior work outside. Rudkin's boxing taking him completely unawares there in the round, and he was swinging with the left and right hands, but really not having much of an answer. As for Rudkin, well on top, no doubt about it at all. The man who, as an amateur, never won an ABA title, really came to light at the same time as Billy Walker, the man who was due to fight on this bill but had to pull out because of an injured back. That was in that marvelous 10-0 defeat of the Americans, when Rudkin hammered Sherman Washington to defeat and Walker put away Cornelius Perry. Round 5 then, Alan Rudkin from the right-hand corner, Rudy Corona of Mexico. This, of course, a scheduled 8-round contest here at the Anglo-American Sporting Club. And Rudy Corona being warned there by referee Harry Gibbs, keep the punch up, the left hand low. This sort of performance must be giving Rudkin a lot of heart, because of course the fight he wants is against the world champion Lionel Rose, and Corona took Rose the distance not very long ago, and Rose admitted it was his hardest fight so far. No doubt that Rudkin really giving Corona a boxing lesson. of round 5. Alan Rudkin, the man who hoping for that European title bout against the holder Salvatore Bruni. It's also been mentioned if he does well tonight, he will probably get a bout against Jesus Pimentel, the number 2 challenger for the world crown. That's Pimentel number 2 behind Takayo Sakuri of Japan. Rudkin 7th in the world, and the defeats have all been against top-rated men. People like Fighting Harada, then McGowan, who was world flyweight champion, then Ben Ali, the European champion. The only other defeat against Carl Taylor. Tonight at the moment certainly in no worry of defeat at the moment against Corona, but we know that Corona is a man who can go the distance, can go a long time, and can at times produce a punch from nowhere. So Rudkin's main concern now is surely to keep out of trouble, to watch for the sudden punch from Corona that Cook calls a tremendous upset in what's been at the moment a tremendously great career. Three rounds to go. Good left hand from Corona. He caught one in return. More of a slip than the force of the blow. And gave Rudkin probably the best left hand of the fight. Rudkin caught him back and Corona slipped on the turn as he turned away from the punch. All Corona's best work coming inside into the body of Rudkin. Corona doing slightly better at the start of this 6th round, but here again, towards the end, Rudkin getting on top. Corona trying a right uppercut. End of the 6th. Well, let's take a look now in that 6th round. Let's take a look once again at that left hand that Rudkin delivered just before Corona went down. Let's go back now to the interesting stage of that 6th round. Corona there just slipping away from the punch, and as he slipped from the punch, he went down. It was part of a punch from Rudkin, part of a slip. Not really Rudkin's best blow of the fight, but a pretty effective one. Rudkin now working on the eye. There's no danger, there's no mark, there's no sign of a rub on that left eye, which caused all the trouble against Billy Brown. Holding up well and in complete command of this fight against the 30-year-old Mexican Rudy Corona. Harry Gibbs just taking a look at Corona there. Not a very happy man making his first appearance in this country, and in fact flies back immediately to get married this weekend. Good punch from Corona. Corona looking a little wild, a little desperate here in the 7th. Good right hand from Rudkin. Rudkin almost hitting Corona at the will. Corona back on the ropes, trying to get away, not succeeding. And Rudkin hitting him with left and right hands to the face, left and right hands to the body. Not a knockout puncher really, Rudkin, of course. Only 3 knockouts in his career. And Harry Gibbs steps in, and Harry Gibbs has stopped it in the 7th. Gibbs stops it in the 7th. And he raises Rudkin's hand. Corona taking far too much punishment. Harry Gibbs said it's enough. And Rudkin wins in about 2 minutes to the 7th round.
My lords and
triumph in Rudkin corner, but Rudy Corona not a happy man.
Stop the contest to save Corona from unnecessary punishment, leaving the decision to Rudkin.
So Alan Rudkin, the British and Empire bantamweight champion, stops the 30-year-old Rudy Corona of Mexico in 2 minutes 15 seconds of the 7th round. A great performance by Rudkin, the master of boxing, undoubtedly all the time. Just one man going to the canvas, that was Corona, as Rudkin walks over to Corona's corner. Not really an effective knockdown punch, but Corona just slipped and went down. But apart from that, it was Rudkin all the way. Left and right hands, and there in that 7th round, he suddenly put Corona on the ropes, and he hit him almost at will. Corona really had no defense, as Rudkin takes the merited applause. So the result from this contest, live at the Anglo-American Sporting Club, Alan Rudkin, British and Empire bantamweight champion, beats Rudy Corona of Mexico, stopped in the 7th round by the referee Harry Gibbs. Corona, the man who had to shave off his little goatee beard just before the fight started. There was almost another little squabble in the dressing room. As I said, he said no beard, no fight. He was persuaded that this was British rules. He had to take it off. It was too much of a danger. It was a short, stubbly beard. And certainly, by his attitude there in the ring tonight, not a very happy man. So Rudkin beats Corona in the 7th.
It wasn't easy.
Well, now here with me, Alan Rudkin. It looked easy, Alan.
It was easy, very easy. I think I should have stopped him a bit earlier if I'd have put the pressure on, you know.
Do you feel like sitting down? Come on, join me down here. Actually, he's fought 1 or 2 good fighters, but he didn't look all that hot in there tonight.
Oh, he's fought 1 or 2 good fighters, but hasn't beaten any of them, I don't think, you know. But, you know, he was a strong, durable fighter, which I expected. I didn't want to take too many chances with these stitches I had over my eye 7 weeks ago, you know. So I took things a bit easy till about the 7th. And I thought he was really gone, you know, and I moved into him.
Actually, that eye is still a bit red. It cost you about 100 guineas to get it back.
Yeah. That's why I had to fight tonight, to make the money for the operation, you know.
Alan, how much did you get paid tonight for that?
I'm not sure. I think I get about 1,500 quid or something, you know, which is not bad.
Fair old night's work.
Nice, yeah.
Actually, one thing you avoided out there was being kissed by Mickey Duff on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never heard the last of that. It's in the contract, that too. You know.
You'll have to go back for that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alan, the main target for you must be the World Championship.
Lionel Rose at the moment, but he defends against another Mexican in December, so I'll probably have to wait till the New Year sometimes. I'll have to keep winning my fights.
It must be encouraging, in fact, that this fellow went the distance with Rose, or was reputed to have done, and running
yes,
post.
That's right, yeah. I don't know how long ago it was, you know, but it's a good omen.
And what's the programme from here on now?
I don't know. I'll probably be fighting again before Christmas, but I'm not sure what it is yet.
You're going to take your wife out tonight?
I don't know. She'll be in the house now. I think I'll go out myself.
Thanks very much, Alan.
Joking. Yeah.
Well
Okay,
done. Thanks a lot.